Hola. First of all, huge congratulations. I adore the project. I binged it only one sitting, which probably was a bit too much to handle. But I want to ask, first of all, when you first talked to Jorge about the project and you started reading the script, what spoke to you the most about Maya?
I love the Mesoamerican influences, the inspiration that he took from from his heritage, with a dazzle of Caribbean culture, which obviously I'm very much happy about that. I also like that at the helm was this young, bright 15-year-old girl that was feisty and knew exactly who she was, and was pushing up against sort of like the traditional roles that she was being subjected to fulfill. And that to me felt just relatable, absolutely necessary, but also like, aside from any kind of like social justice kind of commentary or representation, it just feels good. It feels good. Like I'm a quiet, proud Latinx, American, who lives my culture and everything that I do every single day. So I don't know how to talk about it as much as I know how to live it. So getting to see that and getting to share that is beautiful and it makes me really happy.
What sort of influences or inspiration do you draw for your performance?
Well, it's very similar to Jorge, who took inspiration as he was conceiving Maya, from his wife and his mother and his sister, like all these brave and awesome women in his life. I mean, pick a corner in my life. I come from a family of matriarchs, and I'm one of three sisters. I just lost my grandmother 2 years ago, but she was everything to us. And my mother is the most fantastic person I've ever met. So I took inspiration not just from like immediate family, but also from friends and colleagues and neighbors. That every time I see, a little spunk that reminds me that, oh, there's some Latin blood in there. These are the people that I sort of channel all the time, whenever I do play characters that require that.
Um, how do you approach voicing a character like Maya compared to when you do live action? Or is there any particular differences in the way you approach a character when in animation?
Well, for me, at least personally, I tend to be a lot more relaxed when it's animation and I'm just voicing it, because the focus is more on the spiritual and sort of like internal connection to this character, so that your voice can just be that instrument. But obviously, when you do live action, there's just a lot more components that you always have to think about. So you do have that freedom. You can roll in your PJs and just do a 5-hour session, and nobody judges you. Nobody goes, is she okay? You don't have to go through hair and makeup. You just have to go through endless conversations with a very generous director like Jorge Gutierrez, that will immediately just like place you in that time and the moment of something, and then just you interact with him. It's actually a wonderful experience.
There's a lot of physicality to to Maya, and a lot of action in the project. How do you try to address that in the recording booth? Do you do anything to sort of get into the character like that?
You try, but remember too, like if you do any kind of like abrupt movements, then the microphone picks it up. So it all has to be practiced and first, and then when they are rolling, it just has to be interpreted through the voice. So it does come with its sets of challenges when you do when you only lend your voice as the only instrument of interpretation. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Um, you have played a lot of badass female warriors in TV and film. What makes Maya different than some of the other characters that you have played?
She's 15. And I feel like she's a lot more stubborn than many other characters I've played before. But I gravitate towards characters, I guess, that maybe I am, and I'm just unaware of it. I've been I've been told that I can be a very guarded person, you know, and it takes a while for me to sort of warm up and feel safe around certain, I guess it's just social anxiety. So I tend to gravitate towards characters that you know, I maybe I see myself in them, but also I don't approach them because of their strength and their walls. I that's not what gets me excited about them. What gets me excited about them are their struggles, their inner struggles, and their weaknesses and their flaws and their fears and their stakes, like, you know, all of these things, because it's it's very easy to look at a woman and just because she knows what she wants, that she's strong, and you just write her off for just that title. But there's so many layers to a person. You know, there's a lot of fragility that sometimes a strong person is protecting, and I feel like Maya is like that. She's protecting her freedom. You know, she wants to be free to be whoever she wants to be, and in that she's willing to fight. You know, but then when that freedom becomes not just a personal goal, but the goal of her kingdom, and her people's freedom is relying on her, she's reminded that she's just 15 and she's scared and she's vulnerable and she's insecure. And then through the help of her friends, she grows all of these strengths, you know. And so I really like what Jorge put together. He really created a wholesome young woman.
Also, thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you, and huge congratulations on Maya. I love that.
Qué bueno.